Turn it up. Turn it up. Did you catch that, Lynn? Yeah. Catch that little show note that was coming in?
I got it.
Yeah.
We'll do it live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the DNVR Nuggets podcast.
Welcome to
Man, you know what, Eric? Look at this. Flannel Eric.
He looked good.
He looks really
You're
good.
so
man.
seasonal, man.
Honest to God, it fits. It looks like Blarick, but it also looks like you.
I am Blarick.
That was you all along?
Whole time.
Oh my God!
That explains so much.
I'll tell you what, Denver Eric is the imposter.
Oh, damn it. That's not true. There's no way
Get
that's
outta
true.
here.
Big Nurkic guy over here. Gets his
out.
growlers. We got a good show for you guys today. We're 1 week into the season. A large enough sample size to have takes. We're going to share those takes.
Every sample size is large enough to have takes.
So true.
Don't even need to play games.
So we're going to talk about the things that have stood out to us as being encouraging, and we're going to talk about the things that have stood out to us as being discouraging, and then as well as preview next week. And we might even, guys, mess around and ask the question, should the Nuggets trade for LeBron James?
Whoa.
As one George Karl would love to see.
Whoa.
Again, I don't know how earnestly he's throwing that out.
What time did George tweet that?
It was this morning. It was early. I was morning.
I think he's earnest.
That felt like a 9, 11, 10, 11
That felt like a
o'clock
tweet
one.
I'd fire off at 1 a.m. Yeah.
Hit notifications off, go to bed.
Yeah.
Just kind of wake
Set
up.
it and forget it.
Completely forget that you did. Why do I have so many mentions? Oh, that's right. I tweeted that thing.
Yeah.
We're presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. You can use promo code DNVR whenever you sign up and gamble along with us. Over here in the mustard-colored... everybody's got their fall fits on today. Look at all of us,
cold,
man.
bro.
It is cold, bro.
We're not being fashionable. This is literally
Couldn't
for
wait
warmth.
to throw in a fall fit.
But you're also being fashionable.
That's a
Don't
great
kid
point.
yourself. You're also being fashionable. But it's Brendan Vogt.
Super cool that the Nuggets beat the Lakers last night, in my professional opinion.
Let's go,
It is
dude.
super cool. I'm telling you, I missed a Monday show, right? Nuggets
Oh,
lose.
you son of a...
Warm in my bed. No, that's not true. I was working. But nonetheless, I felt like I was warm in my bed, not having to be on the show for that one. Last night, you missed it, man. It was fun. It was fun hanging out, just basking in the...
Well, listen, the real privilege is going to the arena with Harrison Wind. And maybe one day you'll get to know that privilege, but for now, it's all mine.
One day soon. I already introduced Eric. You can stay quiet for this part. But the man with the wind, the handsome one over there, it's Harrison.
No, I want to echo what Brendan Vogt said. It was great to beat the Lakers last night. It was even better to be there to witness it live.
Why is it going to be like this on this show? Why can
Factions.
you only profit if we
I
lose?
do have to say, I think there were fewer Lakers fans at the game last night than there normally are.
Vogt disagrees with you. We asked
Well,
this
really?
very question.
It's not necessarily...
They're in
To me, I
hiding,
thought it
dude.
was hard to notice because they didn't have a lot of reasons to cheer.
That is true.
When
That was a
LeBron-
pathetic Lakers team last night.
Exactly. When LeBron dunked, I did think like, oh, there's a handful.
Yeah,
You know what?
but it wasn't just like the overpowering
You're right.
sense that there usually is there, where there's just Lakers fans everywhere you look.
You know what it
that was
is?
my take, at least.
I agree.
The Lakers fans go to the arena now with the conviction of Russell Wilson's last "Let's Ride."
Yeah.
Do you remember when he was like, "Should I do this?" Or
Let's
like,
ride.
Let's ride.
All right, yeah,
Let's ride.
Broncos
That's like
Frenchie.
Lakers, where
That's
they're
right.
like, "Should I put the jersey?" No, let's just put the shirt on, the black shirt
know.
that has
Yeah.
the Lakers logo. Nobody can really tell.
Yeah, I feel as the oldest person on set, I just need to interject and teach you guys about a little something called front runners. And what the front runner does
familiar
is
with
when
the
things are
concept.
bad, the front
Yeah.
runner disappears.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're not quite at disappear moment yet. They're like, I think last night might be the disappear game. That's the one where they were like, I regret spending the money on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Like
hope
how down bad, how cowardly do you have to be to just throw on a Lakers jersey when you live in Denver and go to a Nuggets Lakers game and actually try to root for the Lakers?
I put it on Twitter yesterday that I don't think most of them knew they were bad.
Yeah.
I think like
It
a
was
lot
the
of-
first Lakers game they've watched all year.
Yeah, all year
Yeah.
they're like, okay.
All right, let's check out the squads.
Oh,
this
we
year.
got LeBron. We got
Kendrick
AD.
Nunn.
Man, you couldn't
Wait,
hear him
who
in-
is this? Matt Ryan?
Oh
The
man,
quarterback?
imagine
They
them
were like,
looking
is
at
that
Austin
Harrison
Reeves.
Wind? you couldn't hear him in the fourth quarter. And I also will say it looked like their media session wrapped up real quick. They got to
Yeah.
the bus real
Oh,
quick.
there's not a lot
last
to
night.
talk about. They've talked about the same thing after every game, I
that's right.
think.
Enough about the Lakers, though. They're the losers that came into our building and humiliated themselves, left with the L on their way out. It was not really that close. It wasn't really that close. But we have a week sample size now, guys. 1 week. Not a week sample size. We have a 1
we
week
actually have
sample
both.
size. It's a strong sample size.
5 games.
I want to talk about the trends, and we're going to start by talking. And by the way, play along with us in the chat here, talking about.
Oh yeah, I can't help.
Oh, encouraged or discouraged? Yeah, look at that face. Oh my, I look like my grandpa. In
You
that
look sick in
drawing.
both those pictures.
I do look sick in both of them. You're right.
Yeah, it's called jaundice or fever.
That's exactly right. So we're going to talk about the good things so far. Number one on my list, and I'm curious if you guys agree with me. The number one most encouraging thing about the season so far is none other than Lockdown Brown, a.k.a. Bruce Brown,
AKA
Knockdown Brown.
Yes.
AKA Brown Town.
No,
Nice. Well, yeah.
that's a different
AKA
Brown.
BB,
Yeah, a.k.a. BB, which is like,
as
I
he
don't know.
prefers
Yeah.
to be called.
AKA no
It's a
nickname.
qualifier there. He prefers it.
But I mean this sincerely. I mean, he has been fantastic. Looks like he fits in. Everybody seems to like him. He's got the Jokic stamp of approval, which I think is really big. And he opens up a world of possibilities. We thought coming into this season, that's what he represented, was you could plug him in to a Michael Porter spot or whatever, and it makes you more defensive-minded. Turns out you could plug him into any single combination of starters outside of Jokic, and he makes you interesting, makes you different and interesting. So I'll start there. First of all, do you agree, Harrison, that he's the number one most encouraging thing?
Yeah, I'd say so. He's been exactly as advertised. When Bruce Brown signed here, this is exactly what we all thought he'd give the Nuggets. I called him the best individual defender of the Jokic era on
Yes,
this
you did.
pregame show a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Some people agree with me, some people disagreed, but I stand by it. I just think pound for pound, he's the best defender the Nuggets have had.
I love the qualifier pound for pound because he's small.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's,
You know what I
only,
mean? Like-
it's only a qualifier you'd give for a small guy.
That's so true.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, nobody's like pound for pound. Embiid is the best defender. In the
Yeah.
NBA.
You're like, that's a lot of
They're
pounds.
like,
Pounds.
yeah, he's just got a lot of pounds. He's a good
Yeah.
defender.
Yeah, but I just think defensively, of course, his motor is unmatched. Just watch Bruce Brown on a defensive possession.
unbelievable.
It's crazy how much energy this guy has and how many extra effort plays he makes. On the ball, he's great. He's pesky. He's aggressive. He's in your face. Off the ball, he's a smart, high IQ defender who can guard, a ton of different positions. And he's also proven that he can fit in almost every single lineup that the Nuggets throw out there. And he can play so many different positions and fill so many different roles. I've loved the Bruce Brown experience so far.
D-Line, this is how I would describe it so far. He's everything I thought he was, just a lot more so. Because it's not, I can't point to anything he's doing and say, like, I didn't know he had that. He's doing it. He's just doing it at such a higher impact than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just the fit, right? He's just like his skill set is just absolutely hand in glove for what the Nuggets needed. Like just a quick guy. Like I did not expect him to be this quick. I mean,
Right.
I didn't see a lot of Bruce Brown film coming out of Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a team that I make sure I don't watch as much as possible. So, everybody was really excited about it, and I was like, well, sounds like the right kind of like archetype sort of player that we need for this squad. Like, but I only expected him to be sort of like in the Torrey Craig, like decent on offense, but really more of like just sort of a defender, long arms. But the quickness factor, like I keep saying, and like his ability to shoot, I mean, in this small sample size has been like really surprising me, really eye opening. I mean, I think we all, said that he was going to be the perfect piece, but it's like you said, like it's one thing to think about it, but then to actually watch it play out and like get those like driving plays to the rim and like all those cuts and things that he does that I just absolutely was not expecting. Feels like a bonus on top of it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree with the bonus part. The drive to the rim. I knew he had a knack for taking advantage of valuable space, occupying valuable space, playing well off stars. But his ability to just one-on-one, there's 7 seconds left, there's nothing cooking here, I'm just going to take you to the rack. And he gets there. He's a lot more explosive than I knew. So he is offensively, I think, got a lot more to him than I thought out of Brooklyn.
Has he changed your perspective at all, Wind, about how you think you should build a team around Nikola Jokic? And here's the question I'm asking. I'm going to go back to my guy Boris Diaw. I haven't brought his name up for I don't know a week.
Yeah.
It's been like 5 shows or something. He was in Charlotte before he went to San Antonio. He was in Phoenix, was great. He bounced around a couple places, goes to Charlotte, and he's terrible. He was so bad, I think they cut him. I don't even think it was a trade. I think they just cut him. And then he went to San Antonio, and it was like, oh no, that's a guy that actually fits this thing perfectly. Watching him has me thinking, there's a mold of player that we knew goes well with Jokic, and Bruce Brown might be the best example of that, like where the lines between skill set in a vacuum versus skill set next to Jokic, and it's like skill set in a vacuum, he's a good player. He's a really good player. But next to Jokic, it's almost perfect. Does it change your mind about, hey, what if you just had 4 Bruce Browns?
That'd be great. That'd be awesome. I definitely think he's the type of role player that you want around Jokic. Great defensively, but also he's a super high IQ player.
It's the smartness that stands out. If there's one piece of this that surprised, I said nothing surprised me. If there's one piece, he is a smarter player than I thought.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is because the last 2 years of his career, he's had to find a way to make himself valuable next to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving for parts of the last 2 years at least. And, one way he's done that is just filling in the gaps, just doing whatever that team needs. And on the Nuggets, he's been able to spread his wings a little more, be more of a guy with the ball in his hands. He wasn't really that in Brooklyn. But he just knows how to play winning basketball, it seems like. And he's such a smart player. And, yes, high IQ, high upside defensive players is the first 2 things you probably want when looking for role players around Nikola Jokic.
I think that another guy I could use, and Nuggets fans are going to hate me for bringing this guy up. I'm just talking basketball here, but Andre Iguodala is a little bit of this too.
Absolutely.
The difference is Iguodala was an all-star, so he was like a higher elevated player. But going to the Warriors made you realize just how great he was. He was a Finals MVP there. But I think Bruce Brown's a lesser version. I mean, he's not quite an Iguodala level player, but it is that and that it's like, hey, yeah, but if you just give those guys, you still need the scores. You still need the Murrays and the Porters and whatever. You need those guys around too. But if you just make everybody else a Bruce Brown, you might have something going there. And that's why, to me, he is as good of a, so far it's early, but he's been as good of a fit. When you talk about, is he as a good on-ball defender as Gary? I don't know. We'll find out in the playoffs. That's when we really get to find out. But he certainly seems to have all of the pieces you need to not be a negative on offense and an understanding of where he fits in, and his defense is damn good.
The only way I'd push back is I don't know if he's an archetype. I don't know how many Bruce Browns are laying around. I know there's a skill set, and so I get what you're saying. My point just being, Bruce Brown is a tremendous player and a commodity as a role player and not just a fill-in-the-blank kind of guy. So I totally know what you mean about defensive-oriented players, but getting ones with his motor and his capability alongside Jokic offensively, that's finding gold,
It just, there's players out there. This is maybe a bad example. I didn't think about this till just now. But, Nick Batum is a guy I always wonder if he'd be good in Denver. I think he would because he knows how to play. He's smart, and he has a lot of tools. He's different from Bruce Brown.
Sure.
But this is just what I mean. It's proof of concept of, hey, get the smart, unselfish, good defensive players in there at all positions. And as long as you have enough of those guys around, they're going to end up finding the seams. By the way,
basically just building the Serbian team.
Kind of, but even they honestly
they didn't have enough defenders.
Yeah, they didn't. True. They were even a little absent in some of these areas. I will say one thing that's gone underrated. Jokic, because he hasn't put his foot on the gas pedal quite yet, only in little pockets. In the film, there's a couple passes this year that I look at that I go, he's got a little better at that. And the one I'm thinking of in particular, he had a couple turnovers yesterday early on, but the pick and roll where he's the point guard and then he splits the defender with the pass to the roll. He's gotten so good at he had AG on a couple of them yesterday. He had Bruce Brown on a couple of them. He's just gotten so good at handling the ball in the pick and roll. And I think it's because we see him do it, you don't notice that he's doing it more frequently than he used to do because you're like, yeah, we've seen him do it. And that's just one of them. The other thing that I think he does more frequently and people don't notice it as much is slip the screen. Or just catch on the move. I shouldn't even say because some of that is he catches it off of slips. But some of this is just that. And I wish other players would learn this from him. I wish other players. There's a line in the documentary that you guys will see tonight at 7:00 on Navaka, where there's a player talking about him that says something like he's really good at he just sees other people do things and then he steals it, like he absorbs it. He learns just from observation, and it's true. But I wish other players had this with Yoke. I wish Jamal Murray was better at catching off the move, and Michael Porter they're actually both pretty good at this. But he's gotten so good at that and going, and these things add up. You used to do it once a game, now you do it 3 times a game, and it's like, yeah, that's more dynamic. Number 2 on my list, guys. Number 2 for my list is Browntown, Christian Brown. Again, it's happened so slowly. The temperature on him has been turned up so slowly over the course of 6 weeks for us who have been in the weeds. It's only been 5 days or 5 games. 5 games ago, we did not think he was in the rotation.
He wasn't.
Yeah, that's
But I'm just saying, like, okay,
that he would be.
I was, I think, the most bullish on him, and I was like, by Christmas, I think he'll start to get minutes.
Yeah.
You know, we're 5 games into
Sure.
the season, and it's unfathomable to think about him not playing to get a good DNP. It's
know.
unfathomable at
It
this
really
moment.
is.
He's first man off the bench right now.
He played more minutes than Bones yesterday,
Yeah.
which again, I don't think these things are going to continue forever. But I do think that he is a guy that is not going to get DNPs in the near future.
Yeah. Well, he was not in the rotation on opening night. And then game 2, he played 28 minutes.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray didn't play in game 2, but everybody else was healthy. Ever since then, he's been absolutely locked in for minutes. Kale changed the camera angle. There you go. It's now, like you said, unfathomable to think of this guy as somebody who's not in the night-to-night rotation. His ascension has been crazy.
Yep.
There hasn't been another rookie like in the Malone era other than Bones Highland who had some weird circumstances
Yeah, it
with
was
Jamal
different.
Murray being out. It was different. But compared to all other rookies, how quickly, and I tweeted this last night, how quickly Christian Braun has cemented himself in Michael Malone's foxhole. It's happened after 5 games.
But you know what? This is proof of concept of a Michael Malone. How, if you want playing time, the things that you can do.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But I also don't think it's unfair for Michael Malone. Me saying this is a Michael Malone thing makes it sound like, you got to play to his strengths or whatever. I just think they're good strengths if you want to get on the court, which is don't make mistakes. Rather than making big plays, just don't make mistakes. Know what you're supposed to be doing, which he's never in the wrong spot. I can always tell when guys don't know the plays. Even guys like KCP who have been around, like every now and then there's joke that's like he'll run a play and he'll be like, like you come here and then I go here and like Christian Braun, I think just has it. Like he just picked up on the things that it's like, okay, I'm not going to screw up. I'm not always going to hit shots. I'm not going to do this. And it's so valuable.
And I am just so high on his defensive fundamentals and upside.
Yeah.
He's never in the wrong spot defensively. He never misses a rotation. He's always in the right position when he's 1 or 2 passes away and help side. He just has such high defensive awareness for a rookie. You just watch him on defense and he doesn't make mistakes. Yeah, he might commit a foul or he might get burned, but he's always in the right spots. When he rotates over in the pick and roll and he's the low man, like we talk about so much, he's always there where some guys will get to that spot late. For a rookie, for a guy as young as he is, how advanced he sees the game defensively it's incredible. And that's not hyperbole.
So coachable. He never just runs to the bench. If there's a stoppage in play, eyes are up, ears are open. Should Yoke have something to say? Should Malone have something to say? He's receptive. He's looking for it. I would think, it's not just coachable. It's eagerness to going out of his way to learn. This is a guy who understands what it's about. And listen, this stuff can be greatly overstated, particularly for end of the bench guys. But there's a championship resume here. There is winning basketball under Christian Braun's belt. So it's really awesome to see at the NBA level already.
What's your concern level, D-line, that it's like not a flash in the pan, but that there's going to be regression with him going forward?
Well, I mean, the things that are being asked of him are things that are not he's not getting hot defensively. He's he's like a tryhard in the best possible way that you could mean that. He just puts effort in. He goes after it. I mean, I imagine his shooting is going to be a little bit of a roller coaster. But it's what this is exactly, again, there's a lot of what we expected certain players to be as far as what their fit is on the team. And he's a guy exactly like what you're talking about. He's just a hard-nosed defender kind of guy. We'll go after rebounds. We'll go into the places under the rim where other guys won't. And then you just leave the rest up to Jokic. And you just kind of do your job. And it just kind of fills in the space around. I mean, oftentimes when a rookie comes in, you expect them. You always think about rookies, or at least I do, and I think most people do, about their offensive capabilities. Oh man, this guy's going to come in. Paolo Banchero is going to score. You don't really think about drafting a rookie that's a glue guy right off the bat, and he's just that. You just plug him in. It's do your job. If you're open, hit it. But if you don't hit it, just get some rebounds, man. Just stay in front of, just do all of the stuff we need to have done. So it's a really encouraging start. I mean, I especially didn't expect to see him, making an impact so early. But again, I think I was just mostly thinking about offensively,
right?
And just the little things like the winning basketball stuff, just nothing that even stuff you don't even notice like in the stat sheet. You just really have to watch a player like him to understand like why he's valuable. But this is just like an all things are possible through Jokic example again. Like, would Christian Brown be impactful this way on another?
I
on the
actually think he
Rockets?
would be.
Maybe. Would he?
I think he would be.
Possible.
Yeah, he has like a nose for the ball that you either have it or you don't.
I don't even know if he does have a nose for the ball, but I think more than anything, it's effort. Like he just always.
I mean, that goes into it for sure.
Yeah.
But his he had these 2 offensive rebounds last night, and it's just like plays that if you're not always tracking towards the ball, and just if you don't have that natural nose for the ball, you don't get those offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
and he's always in the mix. There's a
Yeah.
lot of plays he almost makes as well.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, we still have more encouraging things to get through. I thought we were going to get through all of them. Too encouraged.
we're just much too.
We're
encouraged.
so encouraged.
3 and
They
2,
are too
dude. We've never been more.
encouraged,
You know what I'm encouraged by? You know what? I really do love fall. I've talked about this a lot.
Sure.
Today the snow up where I live was falling real big, heavy flakes. It was gorgeous, man. Absolutely gorgeous.
I'm happy for you.
Driving in today,
What a treat.
oh, it's such a treat, man. The air smells different.
That's your cue, Wind.
DraftKings Sportsbook, guys.
How much more of an assist do I have to throw?
NBA
him,
fans,
right?
the wait is over. Basketball is back, so tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet, get $200 in free bets if your team wins. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Opt in. You got to opt in. Place a stepped-up same-game parlay today. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR. Make any $5 bet this week. Get $200 in free bets if your team wins only at DraftKings Sportsbook. With promo code DNVR, minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Also, if you're looking for Nuggets tickets, if you're looking for concert tickets to shows in Denver, wherever you are, not just in Denver, check out the Game Time app. They've got these great last-minute price drops. If you're a procrastinator, they've got great deals on there. So download the Game Time app. Use the link in our YouTube or podcast description. It's right there. If you're watching the show on YouTube, just scroll down a little bit. There it is, highlighted. Click on it. Find your tickets through that link. It's got great options for Nuggets tickets this season, concerts, shows, whatever you need. Or if you're listening on as a podcast, this is a podcast, it's in the podcast description as well. So use that link, download the Game Time app. Don't mess around with all those other third-party sites. Use the Game Time app and our link in the description.
Let's go.
You guys want to be more encouraged? My next most encouraging take here, item, Michael Porter, and it's weird to say this, he might show up on the other list too, but Michael Porter, it's a little underrated just how well he came into the season playing. I mean, we talked about, I had a couple concerns for him. Obviously, health is one, which mixed results so far. He looked way healthier than Murray, and then all of a sudden he missed a game. Is he hurt? We don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. This one could change. But he looked so healthy right out of the gate. And then the other concern was, well, maybe he's going to go rogue. He's going to want a little bit more. He's been elite at fitting in. And then, oh, by the way, he's shooting 50% from three. I think it's underrated how much Michael Porter has been a positive this year. Does he still have the defensive issues? No question about it. But I think he played in the first week better than my expectations. And I had high expectations because I'm an MPJ guy.
He's been steady, which is not a word you'd think to use often
point.
for him.
Yeah.
And he's far closer to a solution than a problem through these games. He's playing winning basketball. I think a lot of these shots are coming within the flow of the offense. We are all pleasantly surprised to see that. So much of it is just the Nuggets doing what they'd like to do. Somewhere the defense has to give and help, and then wouldn't you know it, Mike's open, and what are you going to do? And he's taken the right approach. I thought he's battled pretty hard on the boards. Defensively, it's been up and down, but there's also been bright spots too. He dove for that loose ball in Utah. Maybe we don't want to see him do that, but he's showing you effort. He's showing you he cares. I think how committed Michael is to winning is the most understated and appreciated thing about him in his young career.
I think that's pretty fair. Are you encouraged by Porter, D-Line?
Well, yeah, only because he's playing. You know what I mean? Like
Not because he's shooting really well. And
he's shooting. This to me is like Porter. It's like you just get this feels like what I would have expected from just his natural progression. It's like encouraging just to see him like develop as a basketball player. So I mean, yes, of course. Like it's just great to like get him up there and like just get him playing. And like it's a little discouraging he didn't play last game. But you know, like, does that mean anything? I don't know. I mean, it's just he's just so like, man, that Porter ride is it's a neck snapper.
The only thing I'll say though about this is Porter, and you're right, it's only 1 week, it's a small sample size, but his best year. He took less than 6.5 threes a game and made 44.5% of them. He's taking 8 threes a game right now and making 50% of them. And again, it's a very small sample size, but I'm encouraged by the rate at which he's getting them up. You're right, that's part of just Denver being better. But also to be making 50% of them when I feel like, to be honest, I feel like he left one game on the table where I was like, he was off. So I don't know. I just so I think this is the best he's played in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm really encouraged by his offense. Think about this. I know Michael Porter Jr. missed less time than Jamal Murray, but still, Michael Porter Jr. hadn't played in an NBA game in around a year.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray hadn't played in an NBA game in around 18 months. Jamal Murray doesn't have his three-point shot right now. Michael Porter's shooting 50% from 3 on 8 attempts per game.
How many players in the NBA are taking 8, I wonder? I'm going to look that up.
It's going to be
He's
Steph
up
Curry.
there among, I think before like the Warriors played their game a couple of nights ago, Porter was second in the NBA in three-pointers made. He's up near the top.
He's 16th in attempts, or tied for 15th, I should say.
What is he in makes?
In makes per game,
It's like 2?
he is tied for 3rd.
Yeah, so he would be like 2 if he had played last night.
Yeah.
I'm really encouraged by his offense. Like you said, D-Line, this is like how I would expect Porter to look on offense if he had played last season. He looks substantially better to me on offense than he looked last season. Like, this is the next step, and it's kind of unexpected, I think, at least for me, that he took it whathout playing last year.
Yeah, what is this? His 3rd year, really? Like, on
his
the
3rd year.
And but like,
really,
but we've had him for 5 years, but this is his 3rd year play.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I just hope we just actually get out of Michael Porter Jr. like what he has in him. You know, it's just like that. It's just always so nerve-wracking with him. He's so incredible. His shot is so goddamn incredible.
Yeah, I'm curious. I was trying to look it up while we were doing this, what the numbers look like when he's on with Jokic and, you know, Murray is not in the game, which we've seen a little bit of. But I don't know. I just don't. I actually think it's been undersold how impactful
his offense is definitely encouraging, and it's been better than I expected this early in the season.
It's the way he's getting it, because it doesn't feel like pressing a different button because Jamal is still rusty. To me, it feels like as Jamal gets better, it might help Porter even more. It's not. He's just taking open shots, and he doesn't miss open shots. And I think the more the high usage point guard gets his legs underneath him and his form together, the more room there is for MPJ to take this up a notch. So it's encouraging.
This is funny. So, I mean, this is really small sample size. The small sample size stuff is hilarious early in the season, but the Jokic Porter minutes in the time that Murray has missed, the Nuggets have a 137 offensive rating.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I mean,
it's a joke. And that's 43 minutes, so it's not nothing for a number like that. That'll obviously come down, but it just goes to show you that Denver has this elite. Now, I will say their defensive rating, 131. So like, really?
Oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah, that kind of spoils what the number you just said.
Just win every game by 4. It's fine.
Yeah, so another encouraging thing for me here, KCP, I don't have as much to say about him, but he does also just look like a great fit. His defense has been very good. He's making shots, and he hasn't really colored outside the lines, you know, of what the team's trying to do. So I don't really have tons of thought. Anybody have like a specifically big thing to say about KCP?
No, because he's been exactly as advertised.
No.
This is exactly what you thought KCP was going to be.
And then starting lineup versatility to me is an encouraging thing. They're just, you see so many iterations of the starting lineup, including what we saw last night, and they all work. So I'm excited about that. All right, discouraging.
Ooh.
Number one with a bullet,
boy.
the defense. It's only 5 games. Again, we can't do this. We have to speak out of the same side of our mouth on this. We can't be like, oh, it's small sample size, but it's all promising, and then small sample size, it doesn't count. That's
Sure, of
bad
course,
here.
yeah.
The defense has been pretty abysmal so far, despite having better defenders. Do you know who has the worst? I know defensive rating is a team stat, so this is unfair, but you know who has the worst one? It kind of surprised me.
Milwaukee?
No, of players on the Nuggets.
Oh.
Bruce Brown. By a good
Wow.
margin. I know it's kind of surprising.
Yeah,
So-
well, we know individual defensive rate
Yeah,
doesn't mean anything.
it doesn't mean anything. But the defense overall to me is a pretty discouraging thing, Vogt.
Yeah, definitely. And there's two, I think, major factors in it. One is communication, well documented. The other, as Malone has spent some time saying, is just one-on-one defense, just blow-bys. I think one really big factor in Denver's poor start defensively are the turnovers. Don't think they have their stuff together on that end necessarily anyway, but there's also like an added 10 to 12 points right now, sometimes way more than that they're just kind of throwing the other team. Like last night, they barely got that Munder, but if they don't turn it over seemingly 1,000 times in the first half, like that's not close, you know? And so that's one area where I think they can tighten it up. Another's pride and another's communication. We'll see to what extent that third one's real and how much it improves as these guys play together. There's a lot to work in here, especially considering the Jamal factor, which is just kind of weird.
Yeah. What do you think, D-line?
Yeah, it is. I don't know, man. The defense is strange to me. Like it never feels necessarily to me like they're playing bad defense, but the points on the board really don't lie. I don't find myself just a lot of times being like, oh God, like, but there are, of course, those moments. I mean, there's of course like the bad switching, you know, like again, the not communicating or somebody specifically being in the wrong spot. I'm discouraged, but I'm not concerned. Like, I don't think it's going to be a trend throughout the season. I just, not with the actual defenders they have on the team. It's just, I mean, this is stuff that they just have to work together. Same thing as, you know, that you talk about on offense all the time. We just talk about offense being, especially with Jokic being so connected, and then on defense, you know, oftentimes it gets boiled down to like, you know, nobody's protecting the rim or there's no containment defense, but it's all connected. Well, these guys just have to find each other. They need to make sure that they're saying like, hey, switch, whatever. Like,
I think one thing that's underrated, though, that I think is a bit of a concern is the foul rate. I think Denver has a bottom 5 foul rate right now, and they're just giving up a lot of free throw attempt rate, I should say. And I think that's one of the things, like, that's one way that teams score on you that's hyper. It's actually it's more efficient than three-pointers is getting to the line, and Denver's getting guys to the line a lot right now.
Yeah. I'm kind of with D-line. I'm discouraged but not concerned. I wonder if a lot of it is just like veteran team on entering the 5th game of the regular season energy. It's like, oh yeah, the regular season started. Right. Let's defend. Yay, that's not fun.
Right.
So, look, they should be a fine defense. I think they will be ultimately, but part of the discouraging thing is they got all these defenders in here this season, and we were all like, oh, that was the offseason focus, you know, to get better defensively. They're going to be a different defensive team from game 1, from opening night, and it just didn't happen that way. And so that is a little discouraging, but I think they'll get there. And I just think they've just got to look inward and be like, all right, let's get serious. Like, let's stop messing around. Like, it's go time now. Let's play for real now.
And I mean, truthfully, I don't think there's anyone that embodies that more than Nikola Jokic. His defense has been not good at all.
Yeah.
Like if anybody comes toward the rim, he just does a full Olay. Like he got one foul last night, and he was like, "I'm never getting another foul again." Like I don't care.
Well,
what
also,
happens.
Anthony Davis like faded away on every shot.
Yeah, but even if somebody, this is always the case with Jokic, but should that perimeter defense break down, that's a direct line to the rim. Like you're not going to get any resistance from Jokic at this point in the season. Like by watching him for years now, I'm always just like, put your goddamn hands up, please. Just put your hands up at minimum. And that happened. It's a care thing. At this point, it's like care means maybe the wrong word, but it's just an effort thing, I should say, or desire to stop. Once we've seen what it looks like when the lights are really on, when it actually matters. Jokic does defend at a really high level. He's just not doing it right now, and he's not the only one.
Yeah.
He's not the only one, and he's on the floor with Mike, and then Jamal, who's working his way back from injury. So that's your back line and your point of attack defense.
That's probably something we didn't discount enough or think about enough. Is just Jamal Murray is like he's playing 30 minutes a game now. You know, he's out there a lot.
27. Is it 27 a game?
I thought he played like 30 a game.
Maybe
30 last night.
I could be wrong. Okay.
Or 30 the night before, or the game before he played 30. Like he's playing starter level minutes. He's playing almost as many as he did 2 years ago, and with that, he's gonna be counted on a lot defensively, and he just can't do it right now.
Surprisingly, Jamal Murray best individual defensive rating on the team. Jokic second.
Well, that means absolutely nothing.
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't.
Or it means we have no idea.
No, it doesn't.
That means
anything.
absolutely
It doesn't
nothing.
mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. I'm with you on Jokic. He does need to pick it up. I do think it's early. I mean, the Nuggets just played the worst offense in the NBA, and guess what? They climbed like 7 spots in the standings. I think they went from 29th to 22nd or something like that. I mean, it's early. I don't think you can cite these types of numbers with conviction for, probably till Christmas, to be honest with you. And even then, there's still so much context to be added.
I think one number you can cite is what opponents are shooting in the restricted area. And I don't know what it is now, but before last night, they were giving up almost 80% field goal percentage in the restricted area, which is like hard to do. And they were the worst team in the league defending the restricted area last year. And it seems like they're trending that direction again.
Yeah. The bench, I think maybe you can say defense 1 or bench 1. One of those two is easily one. And we can call this Bones in the bench. When you went from Monte Morris to Bones Highland, Bones represented the higher upside as an individual talent. Monte, the more steady, like we know he can run a bench, this or that. Now, I don't think that this is a Bones Highland problem. I think Bones is being affected by the bench as much as he is affecting, if not more so than what he is affecting it. And I do think that these things will stabilize. My confidence in Bones is as high as it was entering the season. But I don't have a ton of confidence in the bench having like coherent night-to-night rotations. When everyone's healthy, I do think there's things you can do. But guess what? We're going to start playing some games where you don't have KCP possibly for a while. You might not have Murray or Porter a night here or there. And so you're going to be compromised, and that's the thing with me with the bench. This is the one that has maybe the longest runway where I go, Denver might, to really polish off their rotation, might have to add a guy or make a move at some point before we really feel great about it.
And Bones is in a tough spot because that bench will not succeed unless he's very aggressive.
Yeah.
But he also won't thrive unless he identifies and establishes a half-court identity for that team, for that group. So, it shouldn't all be on him, but as the most talented player in the point guard, a lot of it is. So he's got his own kind of game within the game here as he navigates this regular season. He's got to find we need this win tonight. I'm the guy who can score, but also we need to figure out some sort of process that works. And I think you've seen him sort of caught in that and really forcing the issue a lot. Yeah. So we'll see how that figures out.
Yeah, I'm like almost fully convinced that he shouldn't be running the second unit. Like, I really just think that he is a divine scorer. Like, he has so much to offer.
He's a great passer too, but that's different than being a floor general.
Yes, most definitely. He's forcing the issue in every facet, and he's shooting sometimes when he shouldn't. He's driving the lane with like complete reckless abandon, and then like looking up when he's done, and then trying to figure out what to do after the fact. I just, with Ish Smith on the bench, I can't wrap my head around like why we haven't seen his I mean, unless it's just like we're playing the long game, we're playing the war of attrition. We know we're going to need guys like Ish moving forward, and he's a veteran. We don't want to burn him out, rely on him on that bench. But to me, it's like there's a facilitation problem with the bench. There's just like you said, there's an identity problem. It's confusing. I don't even know what their most optimal way to play currently is. And I certainly don't see it with these players. I mean, again, I don't even know what, like, it feels like the lineup is like kind of in flux too. Like, we see lots of different lineups, which is it's a benefit to have that many players you feel comfortable with. But there's just they got to figure it out a little bit. It's just it's miscast at the moment.
Yeah, Bones has got to pick it up, in my opinion. Like, I've been a little disappointed by him so far this season. He's trying to do too much. I almost feel like just gotta settle down.
I would like to see some more lineups. It's funny because Christian Brown, we now feel like he's in the rotation. Okay, is he your 3? Does he replace Davon? All right. Jeff's going to be there. DeAndre or Zeke, but it looks like DeAndre most of the time. So there's only one spot that's open right there. And then you ask yourself, is that Bruce Brown, or is Bruce Brown playing more minutes and it's Jamal Murray? Is it Michael Porter? There's something to be figured out there. Is it KCP? You just give Bones another shooter and maybe the spacing works out. I don't know. Is it Ish Smith? But I do think Denver's going to have to experiment and tinker a little bit with that second unit because I don't have high hopes. As much as I have high hopes in Bones individually, I don't have high hopes in that unit making things easy on him or him to be able to save them in that way. Let's take a break, Wind. On the other side, we'll wrap up our discouraging thing. I've got more discouragement.
Jesus, man.
I have a whole list of
I
discouragement.
thought you said we went long on the encouraging.
We did, and then we're here. And then at the end, we might ask ourselves, should we trade for LeBron James like George Karl wants?
Wow.
Stay tuned for that.
I'm encouraged.
That's the discouraging part, the discouraging section
of the show.
Yeah. Guys, pick up some Broncos Country Pale Ale this week. So you're ready to go when the Broncos battle the Jaguars in
Ding
London.
dong, London town.
Yay, London. Yay. Broncos Country Pale Ale from Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. Make sure to pick some up this week. Broncos Country Pale Ale. It's got that Broncos logo on it. And if you don't know where to find Breck Brew, check out the Breck Brew Beer Locator on their website. That will tell you where to get it. If you are local, come down to the DNVR Bar. We got Breck Brew here. Also, check out the Breck Brew Farmhouse in Littleton. They've got all the Breck Brew that you could want right there. At Hassel Cattle Company, you can use the code DNVR20 to get 20% off at HassleCattleCompany.com. Hassel Cattle Company, their beef is raised in Texas on a family farm. It's the best damn Wagyu beef around. That's legit. Like, it's the best beef you'll have. The taste, the marbling, it's just the best. So HassleCattleCompany.com. Use the code DNVR20 to get 20% off your entire purchase. Go into their website, click what you want. They have tons of different options, every type of meat you could choose. Put it all in your cart, check out, it will show up on your doorstep. It's that easy. Use the code DNVR20 at HassleCattleCompany.com for 20% off.
Holiday beef train.
Dude, I'm going to deliver a holiday beef tray to my family.
Wow, that was what?
I don't know. I
What
don't know.
what is the basket though that it has like the cheese and the sausages
In Pepperidge Farms.
Yeah, like those types of things.
Or
like
not
literally-
Pepperidge Farms,
yeah,
Hickory
I don't know what
Farms.
Yeah, those are really good.
Yeah, but
those are
now
underrated.
Yes, but
Adam's got a take.
A little basket, a
But
little
the
basket of things.
But the
Little
problem is
jam.
that you knew about that before you knew about Hassel Cattle.
That's true.
Now that we know about Hassel Cattle, that thing is like delivering your family just a basket of shit.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray, I have in here on the discouraging part, but I feel like it's almost unfair. The runway is going to be long for him, and when you see it, you're like, whatever. I'm hopeful though, and we'll get to this when we start talking. Actually, we can kind of talk about next couple games here. We've seen 4 games now from Jamal Murray 1 week. Are we gonna? I'll start with you on this one, Wind. Are we going to see a better Jamal Murray over the next 5 games, in your opinion? By the way, the Nuggets don't have a back-to-back till December 28th. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
So
That is
might be able to
crazy.
get a little rhythm going here. But do you think the next 5
Christmas
games
present.
look the same or better for Jamal?
Probably the same. I think in every game he's had a stretch where you go, wow, like that looks like Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
Even last night,
Yeah.
he had a stretch like that in the second half. But also every game he has a stretch where you're like, wow, that's a guy who hasn't played an NBA game in 18 months.
Yeah.
And it would have been stupid for us to expect anything different,
Totally.
I think. We knew this was going to be a long runway. We knew that it's going to take a while for him to get that rhythm back and just feel the game again. So I think it's going to be up and down, for a little more here.
Yeah, incremental.
Here's the thing, though, D-Line. This is the schedule coming up. Utah, who's not I don't know if they're a great team, but they're off to a good start. But I still think they're like not a contending team. Lakers, the Thunder, the Spurs, Indiana. Those are all tanking teams outside of Utah, which might be a tanking team by the end of the year. The only problem is they don't spend the same night in the same city again through that entire stretch. In fact, they don't do that again. The first time they spend a night in the same city,
Maybe they're not staying over in San Antonio?
Well, I'm just saying they're never home for more than 1 game, and then they go on the
Riverwalk
road.
anyone?
But until November 28th, they play Houston twice at home, 28th and 30th. Isn't that crazy? They don't
Yeah.
play more than one game in the same city in a row for an entire month.
Are you saying that should inhibit his progress?
I'm just saying that as much as they're bad teams, there is a lot of travel there, and that travel typically is hard.
Yeah, I mean that but it's so like running a marathon or working out is hard. Like it's hard and it's hard. It's like slow incremental progression, and like it's good that's what the NBA is: traveling and waking up and getting into that rhythm and like getting the speed of the game. And he's not like Jamal currently isn't going up against an opponent. He's just going up against himself. He's like gotta figure out and get his his play back. Like he needs to be able to. I mean, we said it last night. I love that he kept shooting last night. It was just his jump shot was hopeless, and he was like,
Keep going.
I don't care.
Yeah.
We're just like, there's only one way for Jamal. Like he just has to get through it, and it's there. And it's you just get little by little by little. It's just like anything in life, just small steps. And there's going to be an explosion at some point. Like and then he's going to be bad the next game. And then it's like, it's just going to. This is like you see this with players coming back from this kind of injury. Like Zach LaVine wasn't himself for a full year. And then he came back, and now he's incredible again. And he's actually better than he was before he got injured. And Jamal has it. It's just, we're just dealing with his physical body.
I do have to say, athletically, I've been impressed.
Yeah.
The dunk he had against the Lakers, I was like, wow. I didn't know if he was going to try to pull that off this early. That like 180 pass he had when he got up in the lane right at the hoop and then like turned 180 degrees and then passed him. I was like, wow, he's got his hops back.
Yeah.
And it seems like he trusts himself to do that.
That's
I was really encouraged by that last night.
I thought last night was the most he got himself in the mix of other things. And Malone talked about it after the game. That's really encouraging. I think he looked more comfortable. Now, up to speed, is this game moving maybe faster than he'd like it to? All those things, that'll come later. But the way he battled on the boards, trying to get involved in other ways, and play defense last night. I know I was just criticizing it, but he picked up some steals. He was battling. I think that was one of the great first signs that there's going to be improvement the more you play him, and so I'm encouraged by that.
Yeah, I was saying this. I think to me it seems like he's getting his power back, and then after his power will come his finesse. And it's like he just has to get strong and feel confident. When saying that, like him seemingly feeling more and more comfortable in his athleticism, trusting his legs, his body, like that's the first step. And then it gets to the place where it's like you actually, like then you start to get out of your body and you start to play only through your mind.
What was it that legs was your key? When was this?
Oh yeah, legs.
What was it? Take it up. Just for some reason,
Somebody always was out for legs.
Yeah, and you're like
heavy
that was
legs.
The word.
Was
legs.
it Jamal?
It might have been Jamal. I can't remember.
Heavy legs. Yeah.
Heavy legs.
But yeah, I know that feeling.
Number 4 on here, I would say, is Michael Porter's general health. And this might be a nothing, but it's a concern right now as we're sort of waiting on an update. By the way, the injury report came out. He's listed as questionable, as is KCP, which, by the way, it's funny how questionable can mean many things. By the way, Davon Reed, personal reasons, questionable as well. Questionable for KCP. Sweet. He's already upgraded to questionable. Like, that's not great. Yeah. Michael Porter, questionable. Still?
Yeah.
So...
I mean, KCP was questionable to return in that game. So I would say that Friday's a possibility. We don't know. We'll see. It's ankle stuff.
Yeah. But we don't have to get into the Michael Porter thing. We're in a weird moment in time right now where tomorrow we'll have more information about, this or that. Like if he plays tomorrow, okay.
The fact that Malone said it was back spasms, I think that was encouraging.
That's encouraging?
For me, yeah. It wasn't like he slipped the disc again.
Yeah, spasms are muscles, and
yeah, that's definitely
everything else
encouraging.
is structural.
Was that not encouraging to you?
Well, that I think
no.
Every back spasm is discouraging. I agree with Adam. But I know what you mean when juxtaposed with the worst case scenario.
Yeah,
certainly a relief. Yeah. Certainly.
And then I'll say Jokic's general mood. I have this as a discouraging thing. Now, Eric is preaching, and I think he's right about this, that it's Jokic's typical October self, and it's probably true. But nonetheless, we have to put it in here. We can't pretend we know what the solve is or what the end of this is. It's a bummer because...
Do you think he likes mini muffins? We sent him something?
Yeah, we should a basket.
It's a bummer because of what he did last night. Bona fide reminder game. And so Jokic...
It wasn't even, though. I'm telling you, it was a reminder like 8 minutes to close the game. And that's what I mean. Like,
and then they won, yeah.
Yes, but a reminder game to me is like, and this is what we're being so picky. The bar for Jokic is so ridiculously
So
high.
pedantic.
And it's unfair at times, but at the same time, it's not unfair. You're the best player in the world.
Well, yeah,
and
there's-
sometimes
bar's high.
you look at this and you go, why not just go out there and smack the other team in the first quarter and do this or that? And, maybe we'll get a little bit more of that as we go on. Huh?
He's like, I don't want to smack a team. Like,
And he's earned the right to like sort of look. I know when to turn it on. Fine, but it's very understandable for someone to look at it and be like, "Hey, can you just do the thing again, though?
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you just do the thing where we
say
win?
it.
Yeah, say it. Can you just be the best in the world again?
I
You know?
want to win MVP.
We'll find out. All right, here's in the next week, Eric, you're the seasonal affect disorder,
Yeah,
or whatever it is. You're the expert on
I'm the
this.
sad boy.
It snowed a little today.
Yeah.
but
Look
they're
at
on
me,
the
and I
road.
put on a cocoon.
You did put on a cocoon. Do you think Jokic in the next week will be the same emotionally, or a little bit better, like marginally better, or worse?
Are they here today?
No. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're here.
We're in trouble.
Oh no, the snow really got him, huh?
Oh, man.
Actually, you bring up an interesting point, though. Yeah.
Doesn't feel right. Doesn't
No,
feel
I'm
right.
telling you, you wake up on a day like this, and you're flawed mentally, like I am, and it's just like,
Totally.
you just feel the weight of the clouds on you, and you're like, I can't believe I just had to finally open my eyes at 11 in the afternoon. This sucks. No, but there's
11 in the afternoon.
I mean, truthfully, like, there's just something like today, I was like, hey, you guys want to get pizza? Like, I want to feel hugged by everything during the day.
And that did change my day, by the
I
way.
did,
I was
totally.
in such a bad
Absolutely.
mood before the pizza.
Listen, man, it's real. It's a real thing. Like, I really think he has it. I'm obviously, I'm not saying he has it, but he probably has it. And it matters. It means something. Like, your mentals is everything. You got to take care of your chicken, your mentals, and your money.
I don't know what's going on right
What?
now.
That's
Here's a
what
weird
Marshawn
thing.
Lynch said.
The first 10
Okay, I
games of the
believe it.
season, here's a weird schedule quirk.
Donnie.
First 10 games of the season, they'll play the Spurs twice, the Thunder twice, the Lakers twice, and the Jazz twice. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
That will be 10 games into the season, and we've only seen 6 total teams.
That actually is really strange.
It's like really strange, man. I don't get it. It's underrated that I just brought up. What else in the next 5 games do we expect to happen? Here's my ones. I think Murray will play a little bit better. I think we'll have at least one game that is like, we'll call it good. Like right now, he's had some like good moments, but we haven't felt like a good game. I think in the next 5 games, there's going to be one that's like, man, that was a good Jamal game. I think we'll get one of those. I think we'll get more dominant Jokic. I just think he's warming up into this. He's starting off slow, but it gets better. I do think we'll see meaningful improvements there. I don't think we'll see meaningful improvements on the defense.
Won't hold my breath anyway.
Do I have any other takes here?
I
No,
think you kind of undersold Yoke's performance, though, in terms of trending in the direction within the context of this conversation of getting better. Like we've talked so often about Yoke versus AD, that matchup, and they guarded each other on national TV for the entire game.
Yep.
And I know he didn't do it in the first quarter, but when the game was on the line, he buried that dude. So
Buried
I
him.
did feel like it was a step above from what he's brought prior. So
I love-
to the point of I'm encouraged
maybe
about
I'm
what's
being a
up.
hater here, but I was more like unimpressed with AD than I was impressed with Yoke. I was impressed with Yoke, but I was just like so unimpressed with AD.
Dude, I love that AD has a sad, weepy haircut now. Like,
He looks like shit.
it just, but it
Doesn't
just
he?
looks like his hair looks
Like,
like his
what is he
game.
doing?
Dude?
Spicy
I
win.
don't, you realize that this is a guy that's built his entire identity on how ugly he is.
Hey, let's not
He's
do
the
let's not
brow.
talk
He's
about
apparently
people.
leaning into it.
He's the brow. Something that you could easily fix with a pair of tweezers.
Yeah.
I just more like, look, maybe the guy's just hurt again, and that's a shame. I don't want to
Well, he
make fun
did
of a
get hurt
guy
a lot.
for always being. Well, he
Kept
was hurt a
holding his
lot.
back, yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, like he never ran the court. Like he never went for any extra. Like his effort level was honestly out of a scale of 1,000, it was like a 2.
Well, can you imagine, though, effort level on that Lakers team? Like, there's the word futile, and then there's playing hard for that team.
Dude, I'm telling you, you think of this all the time about young players when they come in and they're trying to learn what is the NBA, what's it like here. Like if you're a young player right now on the Lakers, you're kind of like, this is weird. The good players don't try or talk to anyone.
And we all hate each
And
other.
we all
Yeah.
like you could just see the like the,
Wait, so
the
your best player, maybe the best player of all time, isn't supposed to be a good leader.
What do you think Matt Ryan's like, how do I be a pro? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing
Should
right
I
now.
be upset that LeBron James is out producing another television show instead of here at practice?
That was a weird
I
team,
will say
yeah.
Jokic is shooting 72.5% from 2-point range this season.
Dude, he's incredible. That's the point, though. He can do whatever he wants. He's just like, he's not. We
can't shoot it any
just
better
watched
from
him
within
in
the arc.
Eurobasket looking like the most dominant version of himself, and that was a month ago. And now he's already back to like, first day of school. Like he's a teacher. He's like, God damn it, this, like we got to get through this goddamn year. All right.
If we talk about the next 5 games, so Jokic had 27 points, 26, 19, 9, and 31. I do not think he has a game as low as 19. In fact, I think the low for the next 5 games will probably be like 18.
I could see him getting a 40-point game in these next 5
Dude,
games.
he'll get a 40-point game, and then he'll get a 2-point game.
I don't think he'll have. I honestly don't think we'll have a 2-point. You can't, man.
We can never predict these, and they come.
Well,
No,
that's
they-
not
they
true. For the
really
last 2 years, he
don't.
didn't have these. This is the point.
Oh,
Remember,
he's
I
got
put
a
out there
9.
the single-digit games. He hadn't had one in 3 years, other than once when they beat Blazers by 35 points or something. That was the only other time he was in single digits. So we actually, quite literally, have not seen this from Jokic for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say I don't think we'll see it. I think that 9-point game was a little bit of a mistake from Jokic. Like a little bit of
There were a lot. It wasn't just Jokic playing the whole time, not wanting to shoot. He got in foul trouble.
But that's what I mean.
The story of the game.
But I'm saying I think he was like, I'll turn it on
overreacted
later,
to that.
and the opportunity disappeared.
That's what we were saying that day. I mean, I agree with you. I just.
I think his low over the next 5 games is going to be 16, 18 points, something like that. And I think he'll mostly have 27-point games. And who knows? Maybe we'll get a 35 or 40
I mean,
piece.
I
a 40 piece would
completely-
be so great.
Yeah.
Honestly, like just another one of these games, like maybe it's against Utah tomorrow where it's like, hey, this is
God,
what team that
do
beat
it
us.
against Utah.
I'm going to put out a
Just not
40 just to
letting us-
let
yeah.
everyone know so that the game plan going forward is everyone's like, we got to stop
That's
Jokic.
it.
We got
I think it's going to come on Sunday.
against Anthony Davis again.
I
Well, I
also-
will say this. Nuggets are going to party so hard in Los Angeles on Saturday. Because when you have a big game on a Sunday in LA, it's like, all right, maybe
we
you
better
still
get-
go out. Everybody still goes out, but they're like, you know what? I'm going to stay out till 4 a.m, but I'm not going to drink. You know, like you make compromises.
The key part is Jokic isn't partying hard Saturday
Well,
night.
he's not, but the rest of
LA.
the rest of the Nuggets,
Are
I
you-
have
are
a
we
feeling,
sure?
are
And
like,
he's the one
Lakers,
scoring
we don't have
40.
we could be hungover for that. Like, come on.
The one thing with Jokic for me is I don't think it's all or nothing. Like I think there's some middle ground in that. You can be okay with his general approach, especially knowing how it's going to finish, and still find certain moments within a game, quarters, stretches where you go, but you could have done it there. You know what I'm saying? And that's not asking him to be 2-time MVP again. It's just
Donnie can't imagine Jokic.
I was just about to say, look at Miami last year.
Look at last year.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, Jokic.
that was a surprise.
Yeah,
though. To Donnie's point, that was like a look at Jokic out and about.
I don't think it's as much of a surprise. I don't think he's out and about at like the clubs, here in Denver. The
Sure.
Yeah, he's not going
to.
to Club Bash. But
Yeah.
He's going to the.
He's going to the Splavs.
He's going to Splavs. Yes, absolutely.
Maybe there's a Splav in LA. There probably is. I mean, come on, it's a more
Splav,
multicultural city. The last thing I'll say is that we didn't talk about the bench, and let's talk about Bones in particular. Eric, what's going to happen with Bones over the next 5 games?
I think we're going to see a lot more of the same. Like, I don't see improvement to this point. Like, I don't know. We have to see a role change. We have to in order to see improvement. I just don't. I don't see it right now. Like like when I look at Jamal Murray, I'm like, okay, a little better, step forward, step back, but I see something happening here with Bones. It's just like he just keeps hammering the same nail over and over. It's like it's not working. So I hope that we see him move to more of a like maybe 50-50, off ball, on ball sort of ratio with either an Ish Smith, maybe Bruce Brown runs the offense a little bit,
Whose phone is this?
I don't. We're important. Who cares?
Oh,
It's Kale's.
super producer Kale.
Oh, man.
Damn it, Kale.
Just
The
unbelievable.
documentary has one part where Wind was taking a nap and his alarm went off 12 times, and there's one part where the alarm just keeps going off, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
that's awesome.
Do you remember how much it went off? It went off like
I
every
was-
5 minutes for like an hour.
I was
and
sleeping
like,
there. I don't know.
It's like
Why didn't anybody come in and turn it off?
I thought you were waking up. The alarm goes off. I thought you were waking
I
up.
can't wait to get back to the Serbia place mentally tonight. This is great. This is awesome.
Anyway, I hope that he gets to a place where he's just like looking to only be a scorer, and some facilitation, but it's not facilitation then score. I just want to be like score. Like I want Bones to be in that kill score zone, and I don't think he can do it where he is right now.
Yeah. All right, we'll hit that outro music, Kale. Next 5 games should be an interesting one. Early part of the season, every team talks about the exact same thing. Pop in on like a podcast for 5 seconds on any team in the NBA. Yeah. They're talking about the exact.
We lost to the bad team.
Yeah, lost to the bad team. It's either the offense or the defense.
What
is
young
totally
player
bad.
are we irrationally high on?
Yeah, so true. There's somebody that stepped into some minutes that's like incredible. The Nuggets, though, I am looking for them to get rolling here at some point. It's road games. They actually have a ton of road games coming up over the next month. They're like almost all on the road. But I still think that we're going to see, I think in 1 week's time, we're going to have a much better vision of what this team is, and I'm excited for that. Hopefully we get Michael Porter back tomorrow, but either way, we're going to be back right here talking about it live from the DNVR Bar and the postgame show, pregame and postgame show. And don't forget, if you have a Vodka TV, guess what? You're in luck. Tonight you get to watch a project that I consider number one, the most important, or like the thing I'm most proud of that I've ever created is this thing that'll be going live tonight on Vodka TV. And I think it's also a very unique piece of content. It's an hour-long featurette. It's kind of like an Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown episode on our trip to Serbia, the history of basketball in Serbia, all those things. It stars all of the people here on the set, plus Superstar Dev. And it's just a lot of fun. If you don't have a Vodka TV, don't worry. You can sign up now, and next week, not only will you get the Avs and the Nuggets because you got Altitude TV, you'll also get to watch this next Thursday, the Thursday after that, and the Thursday after that. And if you don't know what a Vodka TV is, I just want to say this one thing real quick. It's really cool. The interface is really cool because you get the DNVR channel right there on the front page. In fact, if you open it up on the front page right now where you get like what channel do you want, DNVR has its own little box, and you click on it, and then it says in 100 Invisible Threads, 7 o'clock tonight. So it really is like you have these different options. Altitude now has, a couple different places you can get it. Vodka TV is the one that is best if you are a fan of both the Nuggets and DNVR.
Yeah.
Easily the best, no-brainer. So you're going to want to check that out. Again, 7 o'clock tonight. We'll be live tweeting it. We hope you guys are watching and tweeting it along with us. And we'll see you guys then.